Hey friends, I hope you're doing really well. And I have a fun topic. It's not maybe fun, but I think it's quite interesting. And I figured if one person reached out to me about it, then maybe lots more of you might have a similar maybe experience where you're maybe struggling a little bit and didn't know it's a thing. And so let's name it. So I think a lot of times those of us who have disordered eating, chronic health issues, exercise hesitance or addiction or whatever's going on, a lot of times what keeps us moving forward into a maybe healthier path or behavior change or whatever it is fear of doing it wrong. And we know this can stem from all kinds of reasons of actually being told all the time without even knowing how or why you're doing it wrong and never have an explanation. A lot of times we're just, we get pretty paralyzed by to not do anything or know what to do if we don't know what the outcome's going to be. If we honestly just come from highly critical, backgrounds of being criticized a lot and don't know what you're doing wrong, or sometimes you do one thing and nothing happens, and the next time you do something similar and you don't get it right, and you stop trusting yourself. So how might that be showing up in your recovery? Is that right off the bat, you have lots of doubts and lots of denial that, moving forward on a meal plan or trusting someone who seems pretty credible to help you, following through with those things. Or especially a lot of people I know struggle with some of the big picture of what could happen if we stop restricting, put in some junk to nutrition, put the weight loss stuff on the back burner, and let the whole process play out. That can be pretty terrifying when you already restrict once. You went on a diet and you did all the right things, what you thought were the right things to be healthier, to get validation, or to end the criticism, and then you end up in this pickle of restriction and deprivation-driven eating. And so here's this kind of 180 approach, and you're like, wait, this sounds kind of crazy that if I eat more food, I will decrease the binge eating, or if I eat more food, I'll decrease my mental obsessions about things. That's actually going to work. I was told that if I wanted to think less about food, I can control my eating and control my weight and everything will be okay. And of course, when you're presented with new information, there's going to be this fear that maybe I'm going to be tricked again, and it's going to end up the same bad, but just a different kind of bad, or a different kind of worse. And that makes total sense that you don't want to, basically mess things up. And so everyone who's gone through the process would probably encourage you, if you're early on in this, to say sometimes it feels like it's going to be worse before it gets better. And certain, you're not at the end of it yet. You're in the messy middle of it, and you're waiting for health improvements to happen when you're doing kind of the right things, and it doesn't give you the same, outcome as what you're used to getting when we do more restrictive things to improve our health. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes we have to do more interventions sooner than later in the process. Sometimes we do to manage a health condition, so it's not all or nothing. But that's where the scary part is that this process is really unique and individual and nuanced for everybody. And that is even counter to the one-size-fits-all, diet culture kind of mentality. So it's really normal to feel kind of frozen between okay, if you tell me the right thing to do, I'll do it, so I don't get in trouble, or I don't do it wrong, or I don't get criticized. And we're locked into that way of thinking versus a more of a process-oriented way of doing something, looking at the feedback, making adjustments. If you've never had that something to anchor to and somebody to hold something or someone to hold on to as you do it, and you've never had experience of normal eating, of course it's going to feel scary and you don't want to do it wrong. So sometimes we just go back to what we know, which is dieting and the cycle that comes with dieting, So I hope this video, I know this was a request video for someone out there, and I figured if one person was curious about it, that others would be too. So if you just hopped on late in the game here with this video, please watch from the beginning as we talk about fear of getting tricked again and doing things wrong, actually is sometimes the thing that's holding us back. So my encouragement is to remember that it's 2000, whatever year we're in when you watch this video. And of course that's happening. Of course that happens, that you're fearful of getting things wrong or being tricked. So how can you actually trust this process? And my encouragement is to remember what you are now, who you are now, and your desire to even take the time to watch this video shares, or confirms to you that you know more, and you probably have more resource, whether it's people, information, capacity, hopefully, to try new things and get the feedback from it, versus being afraid that if you do something new, something bad's going to happen, because you don't know what's going to happen. So I hope that's helpful to a lot of you out there, to be able to recognize who you are now. It's not the same person you were a year ago or 50 years ago, who didn't have the same understanding, bigger picture thinking, desire to learn even in the face of uncertainty of what's going to happen next, versus if I don't know what's going to happen, then I'm afraid it's going to go wrong, so I'm not going to even go further. And just know that that's a normal part of the process to work through. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. So if you have more questions about something specific, please put in the comments below, or reach out to me privately if you want to. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with you for having this. It's more about, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean about me? How old is this? What is this opportunity trying to teach me, or how is it trying to help me heal? So thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.